the attention of the general public to subsequent development experienced after fighting several and other notorious land grabbers cases in Lagos State in the recent time. Is of note to know that the property known at 10 Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun Ikeja, Lagos, wherein there was a court declaration order where the property was validly ordered to belong to Mr. Olufemi Omola Fasehun, while Lagos State Court, under the same ruling, slammed a perpetual injunction of 20 million damages against Cardinal James Odumbaku, aka Babeto, and 7 others for trespassing on his private property, while the victim is still wrestling with the Eguaye and the Are Tomori Williams from forcibly invading and dispossessing the aforementioned property. The Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja has granted a perpetual injunction against Mr. Cardinal James Odumbaku Babeto and 7 others in land grabbing matter from trespassing on a landed property situated at 10 Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun Ikeja, Lagos. The property was a property that was declared to validly belong to Mr. Olufemi Omola Fasehun. In a court ruling of October 25, 2023, which we have here with us, which is yet to be vacated by any appellate court as at date, the presiding judge, Honorable Justice Y.G. Oshola, declared and affirmed Mr. Olufemi Omola Fasehun, the victim, as the rightful owner of this property, situated at 10 Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun Ikeja, Lagos. The judgment was sequel to a suit number 10-11239 IMW/2021, which Mr. Olufemi Fasehun suing for himself and on behalf of the estate of Ebenezer Olawale Oladipo Fasehun and on behalf of the beneficiaries of the estate of the claimant against Mr. Cletus Nwagu, Mr. Mukala Muili Esho, Otumba Ibukunle Akinjore, Mr. Oluwadare Olarewaju, Oba Olasesan Akingbola Ikudoro, Mr. Omolaja Odumbaku, and other persons which are unknown, and 7 other defendants. The suit was filed through the counsel Otumba Remi Adeoye and Mr. Pedro Esquire Comfort Aigbe Okoli, Oluwaseyi Esquire, and Oyetayo Ayinde Esquire. The claimant averred that between September 2021 and December 2021, the defendant have made several attempts to forcibly enter the victims and claimant land at 10 Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun Ikeja, Lagos, with the aid of thugs and criminal elements, and on various occasions, the defendant and their hoodlums were resisted and prevented from doing so, and this prompted the claimant solicitors to write another petition on 17 December 2021 to the Honorable Attorney General of Lagos State and Ministry of Justice through the coordinator of the Lagos State Special Task Force on Land Grabbers, Lagos State Ministry of Justice, dated 17 December 2021. The victim claimant avers that notwithstanding, the aforesaid defendants are still making effort to enter into the land, sell same to unsuspected third parties, and using fictitious and concocted document of title. The claimant avers that the defendant have no defense to his action, as defendants are ruthless trespassers and notorious land grabbers. Claimant avers that they have suffered damages and still suffering from various sets of damages on their land due to act of trespass committed on their family land by the defendant herein and their agent and privies. The claimants claim against the defendant jointly and severally as thus: a declaration that the landed property located and situated at 10 Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun Ikeja, Lagos, registered with number 6, page 6 in volume 431 at the Land Registry, Ibadan, via deed of conveyance dated 10 January 1961, is part of the estate of Ebenezer Olawale Oladipo Fasehun. A declaration that the claimant, as the administrator and beneficiary of the estate of late Ebenezer Olawale Oladipo Fasehun, on behalf of other beneficiaries of the estate, are the owners of the landed property located and situated at Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun Ikeja, Lagos, registered as 6 at page 6 in volume 431 at the Land Registry Office in Ibadan, via deed of conveyance dated 10th January 1961. A declaration that the claimant and his administrator and beneficiary of the estate of late Ebenezer Olawale Oladipo Fasehun, on behalf of other beneficiaries of the estate, are entitled to statutory right of occupancy over their entire landed property located and situated at the same address that we have earlier mentioned. An order of perpetual injunction is restraining the defendant and their servant, agent, and previous, and whomsoever they derive title from the defendant from trespassing further trespass on the land located at the same address so mentioned and date. Damages in sum of 20 million naira for trespass committed on the claimant's land on the same address so mentioned earlier. The judgment delivered in the suit on October 25, 2023, in a bench ruling, the presiding judge, Honorable Justice Y.G. Oshola, granted all relief sought by the claimant victim respectively. Our Lordship Honorable Oshola held that the matter was fixed for last adjourned date for commencement of case management conference today, but both counsel to the claimant as well as the defendant were in court on the day. And the claimant, who is said to reside in the United States of America and regard the court as important, and in view of the order of the court, came to Nigeria for the purpose, and he is in court on that same fateful day. Unfortunately, neither the defendant nor their counsel in court as at date. Now the counsel to the claimant has urged the court to invoke the provision of an Order 27 Rule 5 of the High Court of Lagos State Civil Procedure Rules 2019 and apply same in the case. Now the Order 27 of Rule 5 provides us that if a party on his legal practitioner fail to attend the case management conference or obey scheduling orders or is subsequently unprepared to participate in a conference or fail to participate in good faith, the judge shall, in the case of the defendant, enter judgment against him where appropriate further needed. I have considered and found, according to the judge, the defendant and counsel in this matter suit have refused to comply with the court order. They have failed to comply with rulings with Rule 27, with Order 27 of the Lagos State High Court Civil Procedure Rule 2019. They have failed to attend a scheduled case management conference as at that day. Accordingly, in line with the provision of Order 27 Rule 5 of the judgment is hereby entered against the defendant in suit per claim writ and claim before the court, and the court so held. However, we reiterate in appreciation of the highly commendable judgment in concert with the counsel to the victim and claimant, Mr. Remi Adeoye, who had earlier applauded the judgment, describing it as a landmark and a victory for Nigerian victims against land grabbing and land racketeering in the City of Excellence, Lagos State. We by this ruling, the victims have been vindicated as once having earlier secured the court judgment dated 10th January 2019, the judgment was delivered by Honorable Justice G.M. Onyeabo, Mrs. of the Lagos State High Court, Lagos Division, against Madam Benedicta Fasehun and others. Despite the standing judgment, Mrs. Benedicta Fasehun is now conniving with a renowned land grabber led by one Areto Mori Williams, who has several other land grabbing cases at the Lagos State Land Grabbers Committee and the Eguaye family to fraudulently dispossess same property belonging to the victim, Mr. Olufemi Fasehun. It is on this premise that we call the urgent attention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to abolish, as a matter of urgency, the Land Use Act of 1978, for it has failed to protect the wishes and interests of Nigerian citizenry, and also to promulgate a new law to register, regulate, and administration of land matters under the establishment of a national land licensing and allocation authority, only aimed at ensuring to end the ongoing notorious land racketeering menace in the State Ministry of Lands, where civil servants act in connivance in issuing fictitious and fake documents of real and by this dispossessed landowners, and at several times the ancestral communities with age-long history have suffered from these recurring dangers, most often especially in Lagos State. In addition, we are equally aware of the several other cases involving notorious land grabbers within Ikorodu, Epe, Ibeju-Lekki, Etiosa jurisdiction, with lives and properties worth billions of naira destroyed without any compensations. Regrettably, we wish to state that few questionable characters of the Nigerian police and legal and prosecution department of the Nigerian police that have been allegedly found culpable in connivance with judicial staff could not be said to be totally insulated from these notorious cases of land grabbing. Most times, senior officers are beneficiaries of lands in juicy areas of choice, as the case may be. To this end, it is expedient for the Inspector General of Police to look into land-related offenses, and same as terrorism, because land grabbers harass, intimidate, place their victims under intense fear, kill and destroy ruthlessly, hence precipitating our urgent demand for the establishment of a special anti-land grabbing and fraud task force unit in the Nigerian police force forthwith, who must undergo forensic investigation training to detect fake title documents and ensure to follow strict legal guidelines with synergy and collaboration with the Nigerian Bar Association in order to ensuring that this sensitive department functions well, because some lawyers, I want to repeat, some lawyers are involved in this heinous, arbitrary menace and criminal activities of land grabbing as well. We equally use this opportunity to alert the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, to come. We must end land grabbing menace now, because land grabbers are notorious urban terrorists. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. It is this light that we are calling. We are using this opportunity to call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that we cannot continue to apply the Land Use Act to resolving land issues. Land Use Act was a product of necessity under the military era. It can no longer function under democracy, because the government cannot outweigh, we repeat, cannot outweigh ancestral land owners. They can only regularize, ensure proper delineation of communities, but not for government to come into ancestral villages, take over their lands, demolish their houses, and allot such land to unknown persons. And those unknown persons will be an overlord on the Bale, on the kings and community where these lands are located. And this, if continuously in this manner, will one day result to a revolution, will inevitably affect the peace and development of the state, because land grabbers have taken advantage of these loopholes to go and register community lands with huge survey plans in connivance with staffs of the Lagos State government. We are mentioning that this has led to pains. We have just been called this morning by a king in Orugbo in Ikorodu axis, in Ikosi Ejirin, just this morning, that land grabbers are threatening, have taken over their lands. Every day I receive calls of people that are being killed, maimed with corpses. Every day we go into to fighting for this cause, for the helpless Nigerians. We believe in this cause. That's why we are calling that this is not our own responsibility to do and provide. It's the duty of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he swore to defend the Constitution, to protect and ensure the welfare and protection of the right of every citizen. And these are his responsibility vis-a-vis the governor of Lagos State. We cannot continue to watch helplessly while we have a sitting governor. Land grabbers will go to communities on broad daylight with arms and ammunition. They even have backup of police, the regiment of police on standby. When will land grabbing now end? If land is the only resource Lagos is priding itself to have, Lagos has so many numerous resources beyond land. This land we are talking about, if the government needs land, let them relate with the real community owners. Let them relate with the buyers of those that community might have sold to. Not just that the government will just come, overtake a transaction that the community might have been involved. So these are issues that we are concerned, that ancestral landowners must be protected. This is a scenario we are witnessing in Ikeja. Somebody owned land for over 61 years, but because the land is a virgin area and some persons are interested, they went there with fake documents. We can boldly tell you that they went with fake documents, and they are printing document that is meant for another land in Shangisha. They went and with their lawyers, and that's what I'm telling, that the NBA must be involved with their lawyers to swear before oath and present fake documents in order to take over people's land. It is in this light that the NBA must rise up. For this menace to stop, lawyers involved in these whole atrocities must be sanctioned. We cannot continue to allow helpless citizens die in Falo. We cannot continue to allow people in Ikorodu die in Falo. We cannot allow people in Echosa die in Falo. People are being killed, and these land grabbers are billionaires. They pride themselves as investors. They will come with so many juicy things to pride themselves, but beneath them, they are evildoers. And it is in this light that justice must be done, and President must set up an inquiry through the office of the Attorney General of the Federation. And as well, the Attorney General of Lagos State must also review activities of land grabbers. The judiciary are not left out. We must end land grabbing for the benefit of future generation. So we submit. Thank you and God bless.
Good afternoon once again. I remain coming from Ijolade Ajayi on the issue of land grabbing menace in Lagos State. It is we, the women, that suffers it most. Yes, because, you know, when these people come during the daylight, the children are already in the school, the women are at home, some are in the market, some are in the community. You will see them running helter-skelter to go and check on their families, their children. So we are appealing to the Lagos State government to do the needful. Enough is enough. We are saying enough is enough to save our lands from the menace of land grabbers. Thank you. My name remains Komrifumi Ijolade Ajayi.
My name is Balogun Olatunji. I'm the Director General DG Omoluabi Coalition. In addition to what the convener, Barrister Dr. Hassan has said, and another person there too, you see, I just want to make a case of what is happening in my immediate constituency regarding these land grabbing activities. He talked about the ancestral owners of the land. In my community there, Oshorun, near Ibeshi, the real owners of the land, they went to court, they've got the court judgment, to the appeal court judgment. Still, they are unable to take possession of their land. These land grabbers, 2 years ago, they invaded the community. The son of the late Bale, Falilu Ayege, is still in detention as I'm talking to you now, over 2 years. The land grabbers whisked this boy away in front of his house, took him to the site in question, the land in question, displayed cutlasses and weapons. They are headed by the policemen too, and he was whisked away. Instead of charging the land grabbers for invading and encroaching on land, the rightful owners now are the ones charged to court for attempted murder. You can see. So their excesses is too much, and they are being supported by some of these traditional rulers who are supposed to know the best thing to do. They are the ones backing them up, and few people who are privileged to be in high places in the government. So we have to
intervention. We are calling on government. But the major issue is that the government itself are the problem that we are having on this issue of land grabbing.
Yes.
Because the government itself are the land grabbers. We should not stop. We should stop deceiving ourselves. The government itself are the land grabbers. Because when government created an agency to be in charge of people that are grabbing land, and the same government are the one that are perfecting documents for them. And people in government, high-ranking officers of government, are the one using all these people. We are just saying that no, they are the high-ranking persons in government that are using them to acquire all those lands. When he mentioned Orugbo the other time, because it's very closer to my home domain for Mikose Jiri axis. People are moving. They are moving out from Ibejuleki, Itosa down to that angle now. They are hardly in any of the community that you not see land grabbers within that community. In fact, in some community we have four different groups of land grabbers. Taking over the community itself, not even the land.
Establishing some of these issues, because I could remember before now there have been a lot of perennial cases of land grabbing, and that was the reason why the administration of I think is it Fashola brought about Ambode brought about the need to establish anti-land grabbing committee. Regrettably, that committee has become a shadow of itself, because no citizen in Lagos today can categorically point his chest that he will get justice through that committee. Land grabbers fund, I can repeat and I can state it clearly, except there's another committee tomorrow. Land grabbers fund and hate some of the officials within this committee. You present your original document to the land grabbers committee. From that same committee, your opponent that you are fighting will access all those documents, and they will take it in and get those documents. And that is why we are reiterating that there must be land audit in Lagos State by Lagos State government. Without a proper land audit, you and I, you can wake up in your house tomorrow and you find out the land grabber is at the doorstep of your house using land document, court order. They even have fictitious Supreme Court orders. They carry all manners of gadgets all around with police. This is our pain, and that's why we are not just telling the Mr. Governor to correct his ways in this regard. This has become a perennial issue. In 1990, the issue of Maroko, the way Lagos State government grabbed land in the entire Victoria Island, the people of Maroko have not recovered till date. They are still suffering. Who is fighting for the masses and the good people of Nigeria that are in Lagos? Some people will target this is an angle to fight the Igbo. It's not an Igbo fight. Nobody is targeting anybody. They are just targeting helpless citizens who owns properties and investors in Lagos. So it's not about ethnic issue. Nobody should castigate the issue of land grabbing so that they don't divide us. We as citizens, we will tell Mr. Governor, we will tell every other person. You meet us at the barricade and we'll tell how best we have to begin to activate our democratic rights. It's our democratic rights. We are not here to beg Mr. Governor. It's under our own payroll. The president is under our payroll because we are the citizens. What we are doing here, we are not defaming anybody. We just believe that injustice that has led to life loss. If any one of you, of me, or we are even a victim, we have lost people close to us. We have lost properties of people close to us because those people are helpless. Nobody is ready to talk. But if it is for us to talk, let us talk the talk and let us shame the devil. It is very important that what we are doing today is to set a standard. Lagos is known for a state of laws. It shouldn't be wrecked with this menace of land grabber. Non-Yorubas and non-people are beginning to look at it from different angles. It can set the state on fire. It is already growing. Maybe Mr. Governor is not aware. And we have not seen Mr. Governor visit any of these sites. He is aware that lives and blood of citizens are dropped on this soil without any reason. We are not in war with another state. We are not in war with another country. But we are in intra-war with our own self by enemies of the state. And it is in this light that we are not going to end. If it takes us to go to court to call for the abolition of the Land Use Act, we will file an action at the Federal High Court for the abolition of that law, because that law has overstayed its reasoning, and we believe it's repugnant to equity, natural justice, and good conscience. Thank you very much. Are Oladotun Azan.
In which, as I'm speaking with you, the Lagos State House of Assembly, through the House Committee on Public Petition and Human Rights, we have had 2 sittings, and I give kudos to the State Assembly Committee for their steadfastness in this matter. As at last week, Wednesday, the committee visited the scene of the incident. We were surprised that there are some elements within either the Office of the Solicitor General or Ministry of Lands, where we have two people presenting two documents. They registered one land for two persons. One of them has been registered since 2010. Another one was registered in 2020. So at the thick of the committee sitting, the House was asking, don't you have a record that you are registering a land twice to two different names? It shows that there are some elements within the ministry that is conniving with these elements who are land grabbers. And land, according to the Lagos State, is one of the best resources Lagos State is having presently, because that is the only way people are now trooping in. And land grabbing menace are spread across Lagos, be it Ikorodu, Badagry, Ayobo, Ojo. I want to mention particularly, before you get to Badagry, there is this particular community, Agbara, Ibejuleki, Ekpe Aziz. So it has spread across Lagos. It's no longer in one jurisdiction. And this is a state where we have a law. We have an agency who is anti-land grabbing agency under the Ministry of Justice. Despite we have this, the rate of land grabbing cases is increasing in Lagos, which shows the Ministry of Justice is either they are compromised or they are weak. It's either they have compromised or they are weak. Because if we have a law and there is an agency to that effect where enforcement need to take place, and instead of reducing the rate of this crime, rather it's getting more increasing. So we are calling on the Lagos State government to rise up to occasion. The Attorney General of Lagos State must ensure that every land grabber is brought to book. And one of the pain aspects of it is that they always have backup of the Nigerian police force. Some men, don't let me generalize, some men of the Nigerian police force. Because in every situation, you find them visiting the site with arms and ammunition. In a society where arms were not legalized, guns were not legalized, but land grabbers paraded dangerous weapons in a broad daylight. And each time we have issue of land grabbing, possibly a life must be lost. Apart from the property, many lives have lost. Recently, what happened at Oworo? A community leader was killed by land grabber because of Owo Omonile, 5,000 naira. It is in the public domain. Our plea go to the Ministry of Justice. Once somebody has been used as a scapegoat, we believe this issue will be addressed, and then this issue of land grabbing will be a thing of history in the state. Alex Omotenshi, President, Center for Human and Socio-Economic Rights.